When a pregnant dog gives birth, you'd expect her to give birth to normal puppies. And that applies to all animals, right? Well, that's not the case every single time. Like with these two vibrant pups, and this cat who can't decide if it's a cat or two. The monkey pig. We all know that mutations may result into extra limbs and appendages, or even the lack thereof. However, can mutations change the genetic makeup of someone so much that it turns into a totally different animal altogether? Or maybe a freak hybrid? When this piglet was born in the San Juan and Martinez area of Cuba's Pinar del Rio province, it caused quite an uproar. That's because, quite unlike its pink brothers and sisters, it was born with brown fur. That wasn't bad enough, it had a face that resembled a monkey rather than a pig. This led many people to believe that the piglet was some sort of a pig-monkey hybrid, but of course we know that's a complete impossibility. Or is it? The piglet's farmer called the veterinarian as soon as he saw his sow give birth to the bizarre animal. Since then, the monkey pig has become a bit of a celebrity with villagers in the predominantly agricultural area of Cuba, known as the Mecca of tobacco. Its unusual appearance is believed to have been caused by a genetic mutation, with the vet taking blood samples to investigate how the abnormal piglet developed. Unfortunately, the media hasn't followed up with the story, so we actually don't know what caused the mutation, or even whether the pig survived or not. Rhino mice. Much as I wish it to be, rhino mice aren't exactly mice with tiny little horns. Rather, they're mice with too much skin on their bodies, giving them a wrinkled appearance. This bizarre creature's look is caused by a single mutated gene of a house mouse and was first described in the 1940s. The mutation causes the mouse to lose all of its hair and develop excess skin. I won't bore you with the excess scientific mumbo-jumbo explaining to you what exactly this mutation does to the mouse, but I'm really no geneticist and unfortunately not qualified to do so. However, suffice to say, it is known that aside from being generally hairless and wrinkled, mice with this mutation also develop unusually long nails, cysts, glandular problems, and, quite obviously, a myriad of other skin problems. Winged cats. Yeah, apparently a cat can grow wings, and this is not a one-off mutation. Apparently other cats with wings have been documented in China for hundreds of years, dating back to the 1800s even. This long-haired cat appears to be a mixed-breed domestic, and according to those familiar with it, it was born normal, but started to grow wing-like appendages on its back at the age of 1. Some cases of winged cats can be easily explained by matted fur or super elastic skin, but this cat in question seems to fit none of those explanations. Scientists are dumbfounded by this genetic mutation, as it appears that the wing-like appendages have more structure than merely matted fur or stretched skin. One thing's for certain, though. Rodents had better be aware of this furry feline if it ever learns to fly. The two-headed snake. This is Medusa, a two-headed albino Honduran milk snake that's part of the weird menagerie of Todd Ray, holder of the Guinness World Record for having the most two-headed animals in his collection. Two-headed snakes occurring in the wild is already quite rare, but Medusa is doubly rare for being an albino on top of that. She's 3 feet long and quite a handful, according to Ray. She originally came from Florida and took to her new enclosure in Ray's house quite quickly. She was already scurrying about looking for food. Ray, of course, gave her food, and the snake immediately gave him the fright of his life. Ray made the mistake of giving the snake just one mice. The right head struck at the mouse first, latching onto its head, and then the left head struck at the mouse's hindquarters. The two were about to meet at the middle when Ray suddenly realized that these kinds of snakes actually eat other snakes, so he quickly cut the mouse in half before the right head accidentally swallowed the left. From then on, he fed Medusa 2 mice at a time. Three-headed frog. One unique mutant frog with 3 heads and 6 legs was found in the garden of Green Umbrella Nursery. That's located in the UK, and this is back in 2004. The discovery was made by a student who had just been dropped at the nursery on a Thursday morning. The students at the nursery initially thought it was 3 frogs cuddling with each other, but were surprised when it turned out to be a singular frog. School staff captured the frog and put it in a tank. By Friday morning, the frog was discovered to have escaped. Froggy's eyes and legs seemed to function normally, but it's unknown whether its 3 mouths were fully functional. A professor of biology at the Open University said that although mutant frogs have been reported for about 200 years, one with 3 heads and 6 legs is completely unheard of. The mutation could be due to parasites, pollution, or genetic mutation. Some people believe that the mutation is an after effect of the decommissioned Hinkley Nuclear Power Station. That's about 19 kilometers away from the Green Umbrella Nursery. Octogoat. No, it's not Doc Ock's pet goat, it's actually a goat born with 8 legs. It was discovered by a farmer in Croatia who first thought he was seeing double when his goat Sarka gave birth to this 8-legged baby. Vets have since examined the goat and concluded that the mutation was the result of an underdeveloped twin fusing with another embryo. This owes to the fact that the goat had both male and female reproductive organs. Vets also said that it's highly unlikely for any goat in such a condition to survive for long, giving it only about a week to live. The 2-legged dog. Now, here's an example that screams that deformity shouldn't prevent someone from living a full life. Faith was born to a stray dog mother. She suffered from a brain defect which prevented her front paws from growing to full development. Faith couldn't walk, and because living on the streets ain't easy, her mother abandoned her when she was just a pup. She was then found by 17-year-old Reuben Stringfellow, who gave her to his mother. And since her 2 front legs were not really usable, it was decided for both to be amputated. Left with only 2 hind legs, Faith was taught how to stand, walk, hop, and run. Today, Faith walks on her hind legs just like a human being. She's met with several celebrities and has even appeared on The Oprah Show. She even visited several military bases and hospitals where she served as a form of encouragement for injured soldiers and veterans. She's actually even been made an honorary sergeant in the US Army and was considered for a role in the 4th Harry Potter movie, The Goblet of Fire. How about that? Green puppies. Normally a dog would give birth to puppies that would look either like herself or the puppy's father. That ain't what happened in this case, though. One mama dog in Spain gave birth to a litter of puppies, and while most of them looked normal, 2 were literally eye-catching. The 2 puppies, one male and one female, were born with green fur. Unfortunately though, the 2 puppies, although literally brighter, were born much smaller and weaker than the rest of the litter. The female pup died shortly after being born, but the male pup was a fighter and at the time when this story was originally made public was still alive. A vet conducted an autopsy to the dead female pup to find out if her green-tinged fur was somehow related to her cause of death. No one really knows what caused the green pigmentation, but we may have a clue. Back in 2012, a Labrador puppy was also born with green fur. Research suggested that this pup, who was aptly named Hulk, was exposed to biliverdin, a green bile pigment which is what gives bruises their greenish color. Not much to go on, but it's something. 2-mouthed fish. Debbie Geddes was out fishing on Lake Champlain one fine morning when she felt something nibble at her line. While she was reeling it in, she said that it felt big. When she finally did get the fish on the boat, she was surprised to find out that she had hooked no ordinary fish. This one had 2 mouths, one on top of the other. In fact, she managed to hook the fish on its extra bottom mouth. She normally releases every fish that she catches, and she thought no different about this one, no matter how special it looked. She took a lot of photos before she released it, however. The Janus cat. In ancient Roman myth, Janus was the god of beginnings and endings and was always depicted with 2 faces. So I guess it's just proper for this feline to be called a genuine Janus cat. Frank and Louie suffer from the rare and fatal condition called dysprosopia, giving the cat 2 nearly separate faces. The fascinating feline shared 2 functioning eyes, a central eye which was blind, 2 noses, 2 mouths, and 1 brain. There's been many 2-faced cats, also known as Janus cats, born over the years. However, they rarely survive for more than a day after their births. This makes Frank and Louie very special because they've survived for 15 years. As a kitten, he required a lot of care and attention and was fed every 2 hours with special kitten formula. Eventually, Frank and Louie became strong enough to play with the other cats and became special friends with the family dog. Eki was even taken out on a leash for walks in the neighborhood. Sadly, at the respectable age of 15, Frank and Louie fell ill and was euthanized after suffering from what veterinarians suspected was a really bad case of cancer. See you all next time.